Welcome into NBA Now. I'm your host, as always, Jimmy Crowther, breaking down all the latest NBA news and rumors. But today, as you can see right here, we're going heavy on the offseason rumor side, starting off with some trades of some big-name players like Paul George of the Los Angeles Clippers. Reports are coming out of Miami that the Heat have a lot of, quote, admiration for Paul George and that they'll be eyeing him to see what the Clippers decide to do with their second All-Star on that team. Now, Paul George does have a big-time player option in 2021 worth $38 million. And if the Clippers can't win this year, there's rumors in Los Angeles that he might go ahead and opt out of that. So maybe the Clippers are like, hey, we want to move on now while we can still get something from him. And the Heat might be the team looking to get him from Miami. Now, this past year, sure, his numbers were quote-unquote down to what he's usually used to, but he still put up 22 points per game, pulled down 6 rebounds, and was an elite three-point shooter at 41%. But we all know the problem with Paul George wasn't in the regular season. It was when he became Pandemic P in the playoffs and couldn't really contribute to this Clippers team. However, this trade right here that I came up with, I think would be great for the Miami Heat. Now, do the Clippers do it? That's something we'll have to talk more about. But if the Heat really don't want to move Tyler Hero or Bam Adebayo, if they are just unwilling to do it, I think you could see the Heat trade for Paul George by sending back Kendrick Nunn, who had a great rookie year, Duncan Robinson, who has turned into one of the league's best three-point shooters, and Kelly Oubre, who has a player option this offseason that everybody expects him to pick up, along with the Heat's 20th overall pick in the first round of this year's draft. And if that were to happen, all of a sudden Miami has more substance and more firepower in this starting five. You got a star in Jimmy Butler. Now you do have an all-star in Paul George. And then I think you bring back Goran Dragic. This team is primed for another Eastern Conference Finals championship run. I do think this is a team that can continue to compete. And now listen, I love Bam and I love Tyler Hero, but you need a true star next to Jimmy Butler, and I think that's what Paul George could be. I'm just not convinced the Clippers are going to actually trade Paul George because I don't think they want to give up on the Kawhi PG-13 experiment too quickly. But what do you guys think? Should the Clippers go ahead and give up on Paul George and Kawhi? Let me know. Type T for trade or type K if you think they should keep Paul George. Now let's stay in South Beach, talk a little bit more about the Miami Heat. Paul Millsap is one veteran that the Heat are reportedly interested in signing this offseason to a one-year deal. He stepped up big for the Nuggets in the playoffs, and really, right off the bat, he brings you veteran experience and true floor spacing, as you'll see as we bring up his stats here in just a moment. But another veteran they're looking toward is Wesley Matthews of the Milwaukee Bucks. So we're kind of lumping these two in one as they're two older guys, but two guys that can still contribute in winning ways. Now, Millsap had the better numbers than Matthews last year. He put up about 12 points per game and pulled down about 6 rebounds, shooting better than 43% from three, although he suffered a few injuries that held him back in Denver. Wesley Matthews, on the other hand, is still an incredible defender, still a very strong defender at this point in his career, but ever since he tore his Achilles back in Portland, and then he bounced around with Dallas and Indiana and then Milwaukee, his offense hasn't been the same. But if you're bringing these guys in on veteran minimums deal or maybe even mid-level exception deals, I think that would be a great move for the Miami Heat. Now, those are two guys that I don't know if I'd call Wesley Matthews underrated, but Paul Millsap, people are kind of overlooking that dude because he's older and he faced a few injuries. He's still a very underrated free agent. I think because of how his game is played, he could contribute for another 2 to 3 years on a winning team. So let me know in the comment section who you think the most underrated free agent is this offseason. I know it's not a very deep free agent pool. I know you got guys like Anthony Davis and Brandon Ingram at the top, and then after that, it's guys like Fred VanVleet, Montrezl Harrell. But give me your shout-outs in the comment section, or if you're watching live with us in the live chat, and let me know who you think the most underrated free agent is this offseason. Now, one thing you definitely need to pick up right now is a mask from our friends over at Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/NBA mask, and you can get any of these awesome team designs today. And they are also shipping for free and up to 30% off over there. So that link, chatsports.com/NBA mask, the best place to go. Guys, you got to wear one nowadays. I know that's just the way it is. You can complain all you want, but while you're wearing one, you might as well rep your favorite team. And if we're going to get basketball back in December, you bet your butt we're going to have to wear a mask in there. So go to that link, chatsports.com/NBA mask. Whoever your favorite team is, you can go pick one up today. Also, all these masks are machine washable, so you can get one, wear it every single day, and throw it in the wash like it's nothing. I've already got mine. I've ordered a 4-pack, and I ordered a 3-pack as well. So Go get yours today at chatsports.com/NBA Mask. Could the Golden State Warriors trade for Kelly Oubre Jr. of the Phoenix Suns? There's a report coming out of Golden State basically that Oubre is becoming an ideal target this offseason. Now, Kelly Oubre will be a free agent in 2021, so if the Warriors just want to wait on him, they could. But if they want to go ahead and make a move now, this could be a guy they do make a move for. Now, one interesting note is that Phoenix owns the number 10 pick in the draft, and the Warriors have repeatedly talked about potentially moving down. So maybe they could get number 10 and Kelly Oubre, and I'll bring up my trade idea here in just a second. But first, let's get where this report is coming from so you guys know I'm not just making this up on my own. Nick Friedel went on his own podcast and said if they had their choice, them being the Warriors, he was asked, hey, what are they going to do with that number 2 pick? They said if they had their choice in a dream world, I think they would make a deal. The name that keeps popping up when you talk to people is Kelly Oubre. Can they get him? What would you have to give up to get him? And what you'd have to give up, I'll get to here in just a second. But if you're a Warriors fan and you're not subscribed to our Warriors channel already, you're already behind on all the offseason news and rumors because we're doing a Warriors show just about every single day over there. And once the draft comes up, you can guarantee we'll be live on that channel multiple times. So go to youtube.com/WarriorsTV and go check out that link because we've got all the best Warriors stuff all the time. They've got the number 2 pick in the draft. They also have a second-round pick that you're going to want to stay tuned for. I recently just posted who I have them taking in my mock draft. A lot of trade rumors are already swirling around that number 2 pick as well. We know they want to trade down, or we know they potentially want to trade out of that pick. And it'll be a very interesting offseason for the Golden State Warriors with guys like Andrew Wiggins that could be on the move. Draymond Green has even swirled around inside of trade rumors. And I love what the team already has with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and even guys coming off the bench like a Jordan Poole. Now, Kelly Oubre this past 4 years has been pretty consistent since he's been in Phoenix. You see 18 points per game and 15 points per game and shooting the 3-ball pretty well at 35% and 32%. You can see why the Warriors are interested in trading for Kelly Oubre Jr., although when he was in Washington, his numbers weren't that good. So I came up with an idea of how they can get Kelly Oubre from the Phoenix Suns, and I think it's pretty simple. I think you trade down out of number 2, you get a player, and you also get the 10th overall pick. Now, I don't know if the Suns are 100% in on this idea. I think it will be interesting to see because I think they would like to move up so they could get some kind of star like a Kelly Oubre Jr., excuse me, like a James Wiseman or maybe like a LaMelo Ball that could play alongside Devin Booker in the same backcourt. But Kelly Oubre and number 10 to the Warriors would be a very interesting trade to pay attention to. I am very interested to see what happens in that trade or if they could even pull that off for Kelly Oubre. So let me know in the comment section who you think says no, the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors. It could go one of two ways, but I do like what both teams would be getting in this trade. So again, let me know who you think says no, the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors. Could the Boston Celtics be making a move for Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz? The best defensive big man in the NBA has continued to really be in trade talks until he will continue to be in trade talks until he becomes a free agent in 2021. And the Celtics are now reportedly prioritizing a center this offseason, and they now have their eyes on Rudy Gobert. No word on what they would offer yet or if they even would offer anything, but it would be interesting to see. As you see, the numbers from Rudy this past year show why he's a star in Utah. 15 points per game, 14 rebounds, 2 block shots, and one of the most efficient centers at 69% from the field. A very nice number, if you ask me. And if you want to keep up with all things Celtics all offseason long with all their draft picks and everything else they got going on, make sure you subscribe to chatsports.com/Celtics TV, our brand new channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We just hit 500, so we're already over halfway there. And this is the trade idea that I came up with to get Rudy Gobert to Boston. The Celtics get Gobert and the 23rd overall pick. The Jazz get fan favorite Marcus Smart, second-year man Romeo Langford, Daniel Tice, who's actually been a pretty solid piece for the Celtics, and they also get the Celtics lottery pick that's coming from Memphis and the last pick in the first round from the Milwaukee Bucks. I love this trade, I think, for both sides, honestly. I think the only reason Boston would say no is because of Marcus Smart. The Celtics do not want to trade Marcus Smart. But if you're Boston, you're trying to beef up this starting five and get a true center in there. You have to get one. And Daniel Tice isn't it. Robert Williams isn't it. Enes Kanter isn't it. Rudy Gobert, the best defensive big man in the NBA, would be it. But let me know what you guys think. Who would be the best center for the Celtics this offseason if they could go out and trade for one, or if they could sign one in free agency?